Tonight, the Biden White House is adrift. Listen to this. According to NBC News, Joe is now hemorrhaging support from Hispanic Americans, African Americans, suburban moms, and, of course, young people. And, quote, amid a rolling series of calamities and sinking approval ratings, the president's feeling lately that he just can't catch a break. Poor Joe Biden. He's just not getting the respect that he thinks he deserves. Now, naturally, he's now looking for someone to blame. There's always Putin, there's always Fox News, Hannity, Trump, whatever. But predictably, he shamelessly now is using the horrific shooting in Uvalde for political gain. Now, no doubt there are serious concerns surrounding this massacre in Texas. The Uvalde School District Police Chief has stopped cooperating with the Texas Department of Public Safety's investigation. That can't happen. That is incredibly troubling and should be to everybody. Make no mistake, there's absolutely zero excuse for the hour plus that it reportedly now took law enforcement to storm that building and rescue those kids. That is their job. There's no reason this country cannot secure every single school with well-trained and prepared armed guards, including retired cops, retired military personnel, along with metal detectors and a single point of entry into every school. Now, Joe Biden is not addressing any of this. Instead, he's what? Well, predictably vilifying the Second Amendment and responsible, lawful gun owners everywhere, even threatening to ban 9mm handguns. Really, Joe? Take a look.
A 22 caliber bullet will lodge in a lung, and we can probably get it out, may be able to get it and save the life. A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body. So the idea of these high-caliber weapons is there's simply no rational basis for it in terms of about self-protection, hunting. And remember, the Constitution, the Second Amendment, was never absolute. You couldn't buy a cannon when the Second Amendment was passed.
By the way, that was debunked, but that's a different issue for a different day. Joe, before you rip up that document called the Constitution, what about we offer school children, our precious children, our national treasure, the same exact protection that you, Joe Biden, enjoy, and all the other high-ranking politicians enjoy, and Hollywood stars enjoy? That's armed security. And by the way, absolutely nothing Biden said is true, not a word. What? Will we, the people, be totally defenseless? What do we do when evil people break into our homes? How did that defund, dismantle, no bail stuff work out so far in this country? Now disarming every law-abiding citizen? No, that's not the answer. That is a prescription for chaos, death, and destruction, and the American people won't tolerate it, nor should they. And keep in mind, according to one study cited by the almighty CDC of all people, there are up to 2.5 million defensive gun uses each year, meaning saving lives. Another study found there are at least 2.1 million defensive gun uses annually. That means the guns that Joe Biden just demonized are used more for self-defense than for criminal acts. And according to a multi-year study from John Lott, remember he wrote More Guns, Less Crime? Well, the states with the largest increases in gun ownership, they also have the largest drop in violent crimes. Coincidence? I don't think so. Now, of course, Joe Biden doesn't care about the facts. He's looking for a political win. Whatever happened to follow the science, or in this case, follow the statistics? After all, Biden cared so deeply about gun violence. Where's he been the past 15 years? Because take a look at your screen. You know, since what, 2019, at least 4,642 kids in this country have been shot and killed. Now, all of these lives are precious. Again, our national treasure. Many of these kids were murdered in Chicago. We've been scrolling their names that you never hear about since 2009. Joe Biden hasn't mentioned their names once, not one single time. When he was vice president for 8 years, all those years, 500 years in the Senate, he never mentioned it. And this weekend, guess what? Another 47 people shot, 9 killed in the Windy City. In Baltimore, 4 were killed during a spree of shootings. In New York City, 3 more were murdered. And all told, more than 130 people were shot and killed across this country just this weekend alone. In fact, last week's tragedy in Texas, there have been at least 15 other incidents that could be classified as mass shootings with at least 4 victims. Joe Biden rarely, if ever, mentions any of these acts of violence. Why is that? Because it does not help him politically, sadly. Much of the violence that we're talking about is occurring in America's big blue Democratic cities, in those deep blue Democratic states where those big liberal socialist Democrats have ruled with impunity for nearly 100 years. All of these cities, for the most part, they have strict gun control laws, and the violence is only getting worse, and hardly a peep out of any prominent Democrat. Instead, they cling to groups like BLM, Black Lives Matter, the group that chanted, "What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them? Now." And thanks to the defund, dismantle movement, no bail movement, these cities are in tatters. Police budgets slashed, police departments vilified, insane no bail laws, and a refusal to even prosecute violent repeat offenders. But Joe Biden, he doesn't dare speak out against the radical left. He doesn't have the courage. He doesn't have the commitment to law and order and safety and security for any American, which, by the way, would be the fundamental prerequisite if we want to have the ability in this country to pursue happiness, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And he also can't tout any of his accomplishments. Well, he can't run on that because there are none. Afghanistan, war in Europe, inflation, stagflation, recession coming, gas prices, another record today, a border crisis, and, oh yeah, 1 million COVID deaths under Biden's watch. He said he would end the virus. Didn't happen. So now Biden's midterm strategy is what? A heavy dose of fear-mongering surrounding banning guns, whipping up the Democratic radical base, Roe v. Wade. If, in fact, that is sent back to the states, it will not result in abortions becoming illegal in America. They'll demagogue that. But don't expect him to offer any real solutions. You know, the self-proclaimed, you know, the guy that said he was the great uniter, well, he won't even attempt to work with Republicans. Instead, he'll vilify them. Like always, Biden cares more about being popular in his own party and capitulating to the radical, climate alarmist religious cult than actually making the country a better and safer place. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.